Here in the United States, we are experiencing a heat wave, and a massive heat wave at that. Around the country, we are seeing that in certain areas, they are now seeing record highs as far as temperature. And in some homes, their siding is actually melting right off of their home. Now, today I want to discuss what is happening because we are actually seeing deaths happen as of today. People are losing their life because of the heat. But these are people with homes. What about the homeless? What about those without any air conditioning? What about those that have nowhere else to go? Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. I'm going to explain what's going on and why experts say that the deaths that are happening today is just the beginning because of a certain cost. I'm going to break all that down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So just look at this. This is an article from Newsweek, and it says blinds melt in Arizona amid historic U.S. heat wave as temperatures hit 118 degrees Fahrenheit. That is very hot. Now, most people don't realize what is coming because they are too caught up in the here and now. But according to experts, the big problem is the costs. Let me show you this right here. Okay, because most people don't realize this. It says electrical bills expected to increase due to heat. It says families are likely to see their electrical bills increase 7.9% from June to September this year to an average cost of $719 compared to $661 during the same period last year. The big thing is 7.9% from June to September. Okay? What is that? You got June, July, August, September. That's 3 months. It's going to jump 7.9%. Goes on to say over the last 10 years, as summer temperatures have increased and the U.S. has experienced more extreme heat events, the cost of cooling homes during the summer has gradually increased from an average of $476 in 2014. It says according to the association, nearly 20% of low-income households have no air conditioning. Okay? They have no air conditioning. And on top of this, the federal funding for low-income home energy assistance was decreased by $2 billion this year. Means nearly 80% of the program's funds are used for heating. So only 20% is left over to ensure low-income families stay cool during the heat. Now, this is a big issue because we've seen this before where people can withstand the really cold months because there's a lot of federal funding going into that. During the summer, that's the complete opposite. We don't have all this funding. You know why? Because according to reports, they have to move that money. They have to move billions of dollars to cover for wildfires and hurricanes. So the federal government has a budget that's here. The problem is they're trying to fit everything in. And that's where every single summer we see the same issue, where even FEMA is asking for more money every single summer because they run out due to hurricanes and wildfires. That's where we're at this time. Now, it's not just in Arizona where things are just blindingly hot. Even in Denver. It says Denver braces for a looming heat wave. It's just starting. Keep in mind the summer just started, right? Yeah, we're in the July 9th right now, but the summer technically just started. That's what's so crazy about this. But as this is happening, we are seeing homeless, we are seeing people with no air conditioning. They're actually losing their life. An article from CNN says, U.S. heat wave turns deadly as high temperatures continue to scorch the West. It says more than 50 million people across the U.S. are under heat alerts amid a brutal heat wave that has shattered records and caused multiple deaths across the West. It says California and Nevada are expected to see more daily record high temperatures in the next week ahead. Get ready for that. Now, here's what I think is interesting. Experts are saying that the deaths that we're facing right now is just the beginning. But why? Well, according to experts, the reason for this is because of the cost. People are paying for, they're not necessarily paying for it yet, but they're using their electricity, they're using their air conditioners a little bit more, right? They're running just nonstop. So that's one thing. They're going to have to pay that cost here in the next month. As they pay that cost, they can't afford food. They can't afford to maybe keep their electricity on or gas. And so if they can't afford those costs, guess what? We could see these companies come and shut them down. Like, nope, you haven't paid. We are going to shut you down. Now, many states and cities have it in their kind of policy where when it's really cold, the state or the city cannot shut off your electricity. I don't think the same thing applies when it's too hot. Only when it's too cold. They don't want you to freeze. But do they care if you overheat? Right? You have heat exhaustion? Right? No. That's where things get very interesting. So, experts believe that over the next month or so, we are going to see deaths increase because we're still going to have these heat wave pockets throughout the United States, but at that time, now people are going to have to contend with their different bills, their utility payments, food, medications, things like that. And that's where experts say that's the real worry, is what happens then. What do they pay for? And is there any assistance? Because like I just showed you, the majority of low-income households don't have air conditioning, but they also don't have as much money or federal funding going towards them because that has been cut by $2 billion just this year. So we're going to see what happens. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is this. If you are in an area that is very hot, one of the things that many lower income households have learned to do over the years is if it's hot, they stay inside. Okay? Just as simple as enough. Simple. You just stay inside, you take thumbtacks, you pin a blanket over your window. Just a little bit extra added protection, but also added insulation to keep the heat out. So you have some fans running, maybe you have an air conditioner, and if you do, you don't have to keep it running 24 hours a day. Okay, keep your house not necessarily cold, but keep it where it's comfortable. It may be at 75, maybe it's 78, but keep it where it's comfortable. You can actually just survive in it just for the time being. And I bring this up because experts believe that people are going to pay so much for the utility bills in this next month, they will regret the decisions that they made today. So, if you live in a state or a city that is very hot right now, or here in the near future, just understand where these experts are coming from. They've seen it before. It happened last year. It's happened during the winter months as well, where people would turn their heat up. It would be very hot in their house, but it was the month following that they really paid for it. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. The one thing I can tell you is I'll be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.